All right, all right, all right, all right. Very excited for today. Man, I've been thinking about this all day. We have Jennifer, how you say your last name? So I don't butcher your last name.
Bro.
Jenn Braud. My name is Julian Barrientos. Thank you, everybody who's joining us today. A little bit about me. My name is Julian Barrientos. I have a civil engineering background, and I worked in construction industry for 8 years. I transitioned into a coach, a speaker, and a trainer with the John Maxwell team. I also became a behavioral analyst trainer and a neuroencoding specialist. My passion and purpose is adding value to people and growing and transforming leaders for living. Jenn, can you give us a little bit of your background?
Hi. Yes. So I'm Jenn Braud, and I'm the founder of Believe, Grow, Glow. I am a personal and professional growth coach, speaker, and trainer certified through the John Maxwell team. And my passion is for helping people to overcome limiting beliefs and achieve goals so that they can live their best life.
Very nice. Thank you for joining us today. Before we start, Jenn, I want to let everybody know who's attending. Jenn has a very special complimentary webinar this Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this is going to be on the 15 laws of growth. It's a book that has changed my life. It has changed a lot of the lives that the people that I know, and I know it's going to change your life as well. So I highly encourage you guys to sign up. What is your link? Is your link on your Instagram link and
yes.
your Facebook as well? Where can people find it?
They can find it on my Facebook or Instagram links, as well as on my blog, believegrowglow.com.
Sign up. All it costs you is 1 hour of your time, and you're going to get tons and tons of value added to your life. So please do so. All right. So today we're going to be sharing a little bit of Jenn's journey. She has a really powerful journey that I think a lot of people can get a lot out of it. So Jenn, why don't you go ahead and share us a little bit of your story, and how did you go from where you were to becoming a bodybuilding athlete, and then now you're a John Maxwell speaker, and how the whole transition. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so I was a CPA for over a decade. I got my bachelor's, master's, and did that. Had a great career, loved it. A couple of years ago, got into leadership, did a lot of training and personal growth through leadership. And then it really transformed my life. I spent a lot of years doubting myself. And even though I had a lot of success in my career, I still saw a lot of people doing things that I didn't think that I could do. And so I didn't even try. And then I got into personal growth, started instituting some new habits in my life. And even at that time when I did, I had no idea where it was going to bring me. And that journey has had such a profound impact on my life that I want to bring those transformative tools to other people so that they can have that experience as well.
Very nice. So what prompted that investment, that change in your life to change your entire career into what you are doing today? How did that start?
Yeah, so really it started with what you could arguably say, was the worst time of my life. Between 2017 and 2018, I experienced 3 losses while trying to start a family. And one of those pregnancies became life-threatening. And so I almost lost my life. And after that experience, it really made me sit down and think about my life. And I realized through all of the hardship, I'd actually been kind of given this gift, this opportunity at a young age to look back on my life and say, if I had died, this was the end of my life. Was I living a life that I was proud of? Was I satisfied with how I was showing up? And the very hard-hitting answer to that question was no. And so I sat down and was like, why? Like what? I had chased a lot of the, successes, things that I thought would lead to happiness, I grew up in a small town, and no one in my family had gone to college or had these big careers or had the lifestyle and opportunities that I had managed to achieve at a very young age. And I thought that was what success looked like. I thought that should have made me happy. And I realized that while I was living with all of these external markers of success and people looked up to me, I actually, like, inside, I wasn't happy. And I started looking at how I was showing up, every day, the kind of person I wanted to be, and the kind of life that, if I had to ask myself that question again, this is the end of your life, are you satisfied? What would make me say yes? And that was really kind of where it started. But even then, I didn't know what to do about it. So
wow, yeah. This is I can't believe it. So what happened after, coming out of that painful, darkest moment in your life? What were your next steps? Because I know you were telling me before you competed in bodybuilding. I think that's that is huge for you to come from where you were to now, being an athlete. Like, what helped you through the process? What did it look like? And just kind of walk us through the process from there to now.
Yeah. So, like, you bring up bodybuilding. It's have interesting kind of life experience with weight and body image. I'd grown up really struggling with that. A lot of people in my family were overweight. I grew up struggling with my weight and being told that I was just big boned and it was genetic, and that was just something I felt, very stuck in, very controlled. I felt like I'd see other people who were fit and doing things, and I would be like, oh, that it's not fair. I have all these limitations, and I would want to do that.
It's crazy. We all grow up with all these limiting beliefs that, we can have that life that we want because that person has it and they look better than I do, and they were more fortunate, but I can't just because of my current circumstances. And it's just it sabotages our future when we start comparing our lives to other people. And the minute you stop doing that is when life changes completely. And so keep going, go on.
Yeah. So with deciding to get pregnant, I was still struggling with my weight and heavier than I wanted to be. And I didn't want to get pregnant and put on weight and then not be able to rebound and not be able to show up for my kids in a healthy way. So that really motivated me at the end of 2016. And I started going to classes and trying to get into shape and watching what I ate. And I made good progress. I actually...
Walk me through, because this is something that we all struggle with when we want to start doing something new that is out of our routine. And some people make it and they're very successful, and some people just kind of try and barely get by it and then they quit. So what is it that you did that like got you into, I think you say you started in Pilates, and kind of walk us through that routine that you set up for yourself for success?
Yeah. So like I said, it's kind of two parts.
Okay.
My fitness journey, motivated by being a healthy mom. And then I had a lot of setbacks during that experience. I had multiple surgeries, I gained weight with my second pregnancy, made it to 17 weeks. I was in the second trimester. I gained weight. I had to physically recover from that. And after all of those experiences, I really wanted to prioritize my health and I wanted to prioritize my fitness. But I still, without that motivation of I'm doing it for my kids, I kind of lost my motivating factor and my, kind of why I wanted to do it. And so I knew I had to come up with something else that was going to hold me accountable and make me show up. And something that's always been important to me as an accountant with my background, not growing up with money, was financial security. And so that kind of trigger for me was I'm going to sign up for a membership that requires me to schedule my classes in advance. And if I don't show up or I show up late, there's a financial penalty. And that was what worked for me. And it's just, I think everyone has to find what works for them. It's individual motivators. It's what is going to make you, what is your why? Why are you doing it? What's going to hold you accountable? Who's going to hold you accountable? You have to find those tricks for yourself. And that worked for me. And then the next, the kind of conflict is, when am I going to fit it in? I was working really crazy hours. I didn't know, I didn't have good boundaries around what a healthy kind of work-life balance looked like. And so my work would go, if something came up, it might be 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night that I was working to. And so it was, well, how am I going to fit that in? And so 5 a.m. became my, yeah, that was how, it was really, 5 a.m. club. And people are like, oh, I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, I was not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I don't hop out of bed and go like, well, I mean, some days I'm like, yay. But some days I'm not. And I tell you, the trick, this has started, like when I started, I slept in my workout clothes and I literally took a shot of espresso in the car on my way to class. And I would like slide in right at the 4 minutes late mark, because at 5 minutes late, you got fined. Like that was me, like just barely making it.
Wow.
Yeah. And now, even today, I tell people the secret is that I set my coffee maker at night. I program it. So when I wake up, I can walk like bleary eyed.
You have the system down.
Yeah. It's you hack it. What works for you? And what works for me is the coffee's got to be ready when the alarm clock goes off. And so that incentive, and I love coffee. Like I love coffee. I've posted about this. I can't even tell you a dozen different flavored coffees in there. And it's a treat every morning.
So I want to, let me get back to, I want to highlight two things that you mentioned, because I think this is really important for people to realize that, when you want something bad enough, you have to have a why. Mm-hmm. And why is it that you want to do that thing that you want to do? And why is it that you want to change your life? Or why? It has to be really strong. It has to mean something to you. And number two, you say you want to be healthy. You want to be a healthy, look good, feel good. And even though you saw in some people that, maybe I will never be looked that good because your family background and whatnot, you said, no, I still want to do it. And you still tried. Well, the two things that helped you was, one, you said, I'm going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a difference between, you paying for a membership at a gym and it's, $10 a month and you can just go whenever you want to. But this one was Pilates, was it?
Yeah.
You have to pay for it. If you don't go, you lost your money.
Yeah.
So it's like going, if you set up a doctor's appointment, if you don't go, you have to go. If not, you're losing your money. So it gives you a sense of urgency that you have to go. When you pay for something with your own money, like that, forget about the membership, because the membership, you forget about it. But like when you do it per class, it becomes that much more urgent for you to do it and actually go and do it and show up and do it. And number two, most people make their excuse that I don't have enough time in the day to do that. I gotta work at 6, 7 o'clock at night. I gotta go home, feed the kids, cook, get things ready for the next day. You say, no, I'm waking up at 5 in the morning and I'm showing up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give up to show to grow up. And that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You have some sacrifices along the way for you to get you to that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 in the morning, Pilates, you start going a few days a week. Were you going
Mm-hmm.
5 days a week or were you going 1 day a week? How did that become a routine for you?
Yeah. So I started with, I told myself if I can just make myself show up twice a week and establish that habit, then that would be a win. And so it was, looking back, kind of that test that am I going to show up? Am I going to do this? Am I going to like this? Or do I need to find something else? And so I started with twice a week at Club Pilates. And after a month, I just loved it. I loved the instructors. I loved the atmosphere. There were these other women who were going at 5 a.m. And it was just this whole, just really, just great atmosphere that it just felt good to be a part of it. It was just this community. And we called ourselves the 5 a.m. club. And here I am 2.5 years later, like these same women are in there. And even as I was going through bodybuilding, when I could show up, because it was hard to fit that in with the new routine, they would champion me and be excited for me. And so I had this community with Club Pilates as well. But when I first got started, Pilates to the bodybuilding, it was a transitional journey. I had tried to work out in the gym before, and it's so intimidating when you walk in and you see all these machines and you don't know what they do, and you see the free weights, but you don't know what they do, and you don't know how heavy you can lift, and you don't want to look stupid in front of everyone else because you see all these fit people. This is a thing. I know this is a thing because it was a thing for me, and it's been a thing that other people have told me about. But you walk in and you're like, oh God, that really fit person over there is going to see me looking stupid, and they're going to be like, what are they even doing here? Like, they don't belong here.
What's so funny? So I do CrossFit, and so I moved to Tampa, and so I stopped my membership at CrossFit in Orlando. So I was like, you know what? I want to do a triathlon. I don't need to be doing CrossFit right now. Let me just join Crunch, which is one of the gyms here, and it's called Crunch here in Florida, and just do the treadmill and just do some weightlifting, nothing crazy. I go in there and it's like I've never worked out in my life. I don't know what to do. There's so many machines, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going back to CrossFit. So I ended up joining back CrossFit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I do, like, you made me think of something there, that like my experience there and here. So I've now had the experience where like I'm on both sides of it, right? Like I'm over here a couple of years ago, I had no idea what I'm doing, completely intimidated, seeing fit people and being like, wow, I could never do that. I could never be that. They're better than me. They're probably looking down on me. Like I have this whole thing going on in my head. And like, so now I'm on the other side where people are intimidated by me. And because I've been here, now that I'm over here, like it gives me this perspective, and I've had some great conversations with people and just been able to offer encouragement, because when I see someone, and you can always see like that doubt, on their face, and they're struggling to get started. And I've met some people and I just walk up and I'm just like, hey, my gym that I go to here is very regular. Like, the people that are in there at the same time as you. And, like we had someone new show up and I'm like, ooh, a new person, like good for you. And I want everyone to know, if you're in the gym and you're struggling and you don't know what you're doing and someone looks at you and you're like, oh, they're probably thinking something negative about me. They either A, aren't thinking about you at all. They're looking at the weights next to you, or B, they're super proud of you because they've been where you are. And I actually go and tell people that. I'm like, hey, I see that you just started showing up. Like, I've been where you are. Like, stick with it. I've lost like from my heaviest to stage weight over 60 pounds. I'm like, it is so possible. And that's what I'm trying, to tell people is like, today is like day one, week one. I was there 2 years ago.
And,
like,
it's crazy
stick
what
with
you
it.
said.
Yeah.
When you just have the little voice in the back of your head making up all these different scenarios and what is he thinking about me and what is like, I look ridiculous right now and I don't belong here. And the most important person you listen to all day is you.
Absolutely.
Yourself. And you have to be able, if you want to become successful, you have to change the way you speak to yourself, because what you say is how you feel, what you feel is what you do, and what you do is what you have. So if you're talking to yourself thinking you're not worthy of it, you're never going to be good enough, that's how you're going to feel. That's how your body's going to feel. And that's what you're going to end up doing, which is actually not following through. And so therefore you're never going to have the body you want.
Right.
It's all mental game.
Or the body you want, the career you want, the partner you want, everything. You're going to hold yourself back.
Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap this up with some gold nuggets at the end. There's a lot of people that I'm sure are listening and they're going through a journey, whatever journey they're going. Can you give, 4 to 5 tips that can help them get started on their journey to make sure that they live their best life? What can you tell them?
I would say number one is think about the kind of lifestyle that you want to have, what brings you joy. These are your habits and it's your best life. So follow your instinct on that. And don't, like you said, the most important voice to listen to is your own.
You got more than that?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep dropping.
Yeah. So the next thing is, don't try to totally change everything at once. Like pick one thing. So decide where you most want to start growing or seeing change. And this is kind of in coaching, we talk about this wheel of life. You have your career, your personal finances, your health, your leisure, hobbies, organizing. One thing like organizing, what does that mean, right? So let's say that going to bed at night with the dirty dishes in the sink makes you aggravated in the morning. Well, wash your dishes at night and then set yourself up for a better morning. Just one example, relationships or spirituality. And then spirituality means something different for everybody. For some people, it's religion, but it also just falls into that realm of, like positive affirmations is kind of where I started. And it's made a huge impact on my life. In the realm of making that critical negative voice in my head more positive and cultivating that habit. And now even I have mantra bands, like daily reminders to choose joy, to choose courage over comfort, to, I've got one, fall 7 times, stand up 8, just keep going. So,
it's so important for people to understand, like people try to change everything at once and that's why nothing works.
Yeah.
There's a saying that I saw one of my mentors put up in their Instagram the other day, and is that it's better to take 1 step a day than take 10 steps a month. So just do a little bit a day. Don't try to take the whole pie at once. When you work on one area of your life, it's like a cascade effect on the rest of your life. Everything starts to get better automatically. So, if you want to work in your health, just focus on your health and, put it into, small bites on how to get the most out of your health. If you want to work in relationships, whatever it is. So don't try to do everything at once, because that's how people, don't get to where they want to go.
Stick with it. Yeah. So that was actually my next thing I was going to say is start with something small that you can realistically commit to, and then celebrate yourself for achieving it.
Celebrate is the number one thing. We want the big goal, but hey, you went to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah. Yes, I made it. Whatever as small as it is. If you don't celebrate the small wins, you best believe you're not going to celebrate the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain needs that. It needs it so it can keep going, so it can get motivated. Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, if you miss a day or miss a habit, don't beat yourself up. Just start again tomorrow. Start again, with food. If you have a donut, don't think like, oh, the whole day's off and the whole diet is off and the whole, don't beat yourself up about it. Have a donut then make the next decision.
This is for the perfectionists out there.
Yes, that was me for sure.
Yes, and my girlfriend is a perfectionist, a big one. And what people need to understand is that you have a goal in mind, and maybe you have a date, and as long as you still have that goal, the plan changes. You can. So that's what you're saying. It's okay. Do it again tomorrow. If you couldn't by any, it happened a lot to me when I was getting, starting back in CrossFit again because I wanted to be healthy. And for the longest, we got sick or something, or injury, or we had to travel, or there was always something. And it was like, oh my God, I'm trying to do 4 days a week and I can barely go once. So it's just like, you have to be okay with continue, just keep restructuring your plan and find out what works and what doesn't work in your journey. What works and what doesn't work, and adjust is the word, adjust as you go. Yeah.
And then just again, or last, I would say is don't be afraid to try something you've never done before. As you're looking for like, what is my best life? I don't even know where to start. What does that look like? And I just say, you don't know until you try something new, and you might not like it, or you might find your newest passion. And if it works, like, great. If it doesn't, you just have more data on what you do and don't like. And so just start trying things and see what sticks.
Yeah. That's hey, that's I'm doing something new. You're doing something new. And we all go to college, get our degree and get our jobs, and we're like, all right, this is going to be the rest of our lives. But I got news for you. It's greener on the other side. And if you are not happy, there's probably something that can definitely give you that energy and that passion. And you have to be aware too, as if you want to find your passion and your purpose, I think that's what has to do with try something new. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah.
Is find what gives you like it gives you energy. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Stacy, my girlfriend, was in marketing, and she hated her job. Well, not hated her job. She just wasn't content. She wanted something new. And we were in the process of doing our condo at that time, and she had spreadsheets of everything she wanted, the flooring, the type of floorings, the paint, all the decorations, and she had a list of where we wanted to go, and like her face was like super happy. It's like, we gotta do this. And you can see the excitement. I was like, why don't you do interior designing? And she was like, nah, I'll never be that good. And I was like, do it. Well, a year later, she got certified interior design, and she opened an interior design company. And now it's like she cannot get enough of that. She loves it. She enjoys it, and it changes your life when you do what you love. So it's all about finding out. Try something new. You have to, because if you don't, you'll never know. But you have to be aware. Is it giving you energy? Is it making you feel good? Is it giving you like you can't get enough of it? Yeah, that's where it's at, for sure. Yeah. Thank you, Jenn. I appreciate you. And once again, talk a little bit about your webinar before we close the session, so people know where to find it and what is it about.
So on Saturday at 8 a.m., it'll be a complimentary webinar on the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. In just an hour, clearly we won't be able to go over everything about personal growth, but we will do an overview on the 15 laws, which are really the foundational principles on growing yourself and being intentional and finding your passion. And so it's just really the foundation of the work that I've seen, transform my life and others.
That book changed my life. And like I tell people, just like the law of gravity, anything that goes up must come down. It will go down anywhere in the world. What law is a law, the same holds true for the law of growth. If you follow the laws of growth, you're guaranteed to reach your potential. You have to follow them. There are 15 laws, and that book is really powerful. It changed my life. It's changed the life for a lot of people that I've coached, and I think everybody should take the opportunity as complimentary. There's a lot of value added into your life if you guys just show up. It's 1 hour of your time, Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes.
There you go. We're going to post the link on the comments in Facebook. I don't know if we can do it on Instagram, but we'll have it there for you guys as well. And thank you so much. We appreciate everybody and have a good night. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Julian. Thank you.
Bye.